up, lovers of the Ask April Love Show? I appreciate you tuning in every week. This is April Love, your personal brand success coach and lifestyle entrepreneur, and we have an amazing show in store for you. Stay tuned. This is the Ask April Love Show, and I've got something to say.
I'm ready to be disruptive. I'm ready to change the world. I'm ready to give the mic to the right people. I mean, why do the craziest people have the biggest platform? Why are people hiding behind social media? Why are so many people talking about Kanye? Don't we have more to do with our lives every day? Let's talk about it. Ask April Love. It's time to ask the hard questions and get some real answers.
So, as you know, we are definitely moving forward with our segments, and I really wanted to kind of touch on them a little bit tonight because they were selected for a reason. My team and I really thought about the state we're in as a nation, as a community, just culture, overall. We are struggling. This nation is on a struggle bus, like right now, like this very moment. I mean, we have so many different things so much adversity, so many different things that we have to deal with each day. And we call it cool. We think everything is okay, but it's not. I mean, our nation is split, completely torn apart. You can feel what you want to feel about Trump. You can be for him, against him, whatever. But 45 was a very, very, very intricate part of the demise of any kind of unity we were trying to have as a nation, and that's disheartening. Coming off of everything from Black Lives Matter to people being shot in the street for senseless reasons, black on black crime. I mean, you have so many churches that are pastors and leaders are falling and being exposed for things very unchurch-like. You have kind of like a diminishing family structure. A lot of people are co-parenting, a lot less marriages. We have kids who are being more medicated than 65-year-old people. It's just kind of ridiculous. And I said, why are we okay and why are we not saying anything about it? So that's what the tagline, she's got something to say. Not that, my voice is going to reign supreme, but hey, I'm willing to say something about a lot of things. So that was kind of the birthing of this whole platform. And I feel a very special kind of thing about tonight's show because, I've come to realize a lot of people in my age group and people weren't just kind of like falling off and really like dying and passing away, in their 30s and 40s when I was smaller. I've talked to elders in my community and my family, and it's like something is going on. Something is happening. Something just does not feel right. A lot of people are suffering from mental health issues, and a lot of people are suffering from just physical health issues. And it's just like we're just, there's no empathy. We're just like, okay, we'll post something about them on Instagram or Facebook and we'll keep it pushing. And then a lot of people are behind closed doors going through their own issues, their own kind of self-imposed sabotage and not meeting any of their goals and not finding true love and not even believing. So many people have become bitter and jaded. And I was just like, okay, enough is enough. Either we're gonna stand up and do something about it, or we're gonna succumb to it. And I just don't. I'm not about that life. I don't want to fail, and I don't want to be bitter, and I don't want to be jaded. I still believe in love. I still believe in miracles, and I still believe that we can do a lot from an individual perspective to change our world around, especially our immediate world. So with that being said, I kind of wanted to kind of reintroduce our segments. Our Love Me segment is all about, even when we have a guest or when we don't have a guest, we're going to address that. That's why I have the shirts, that we're going to launch later this year, closer to Christmas, because we want to know and we want you to share on all of our platforms and with one another, what is it you love about yourself? We talk about what we love at the mall. We talk about what we love to eat. We talk about what we love to do as our ideal job. We talk about who we want to fall in love. We have lists. But do you have a list about what you love about yourself? Why do I love me? I love me because I was bold enough to launch this platform. I love me because I've been a serial entrepreneur for close to 2 decades, fearlessly facing adversity. Sometimes not knowing how I'm going to meet payroll, not knowing, that I have, some snakes around me in the past. But I was able to get to a point now that I'm able to feel graced and feel purpose to really do the things that I'm here to do. Did it take a while? Yeah, it did for me. Is that necessarily your journey? No, not necessarily. But I would love to continue to be as transparent as possible so I can be a bit of that learning curve as you pursue your purpose and your dreams as we approach 2019. There's no way in the world that we should be okay with 2019 looking like 2018. You understand? Because you have a role to play in it, and we all have something to say. So our Love Me section, our Love Me segment in the show is really dedicated to talking about passion, talking about purpose, talking about why we should love each other and love ourselves. You know, what we bring to the table. There's something special about the people that America loves. Like when there's like a unified, people would jump on you if you talk crazy about Michelle Obama. A lot of people would jump on you if you talk crazy about Oprah. There are people that the nation loves. And I think that you need to understand that, you know, like God created Michelle, Oprah, and you. He is no respecter of persons. So there's some amazing gifts that the world is waiting on from you as well. So I think you can glean from these ladies because, hey, who knows? You're the next whatever you are. But until you understand and embrace all of the greatness and excellence that lives on the inside of you, then we'll never see it. I want to see you on platforms like this. I want to invite you on as a guest. I want to see this whole world shift. It's a paradigm shift that is mandatory that it happens. I know, because there will be no reason for me to do this show otherwise. This show is not to bring on the Jersey Shore cast members. This show is not for, you know, it's just not for the pettiness of the world. This is about having something to say that's going to change lives. Mind, body, and spirit, one body at a time. Now, our Teach Me section, I love. I don't know if, I guess I'm into things like documentaries, and I love YouTube. I love TED Talks. I'm a conference junkie. I'm the person who really pays attention to the sermon at church. I just love to be taught. I love learning, you know. I recently attended the Institute of Integrative Nutrition out of New York, and it was just an amazing experience to study outside of the realm of just the specifics of science and the body and the anatomy and all that stuff, but to really understand that there's a real mind-body connection. I learned so much that I feel like it was very necessary and very, you know, divine timing that I went through those courses and I went through that school. And actually my coach, Vanya Francis, she also attended. So the coach has a coach. So I'm excited to bring her on in the future and kind of like let you guys kind of share her with you guys. But the Teach Me section is all about the fact that I really want you to understand who our audience is. If you feel like you know everything and you've reached the capacity of being taught, you should sign off now. Bye. Okay. All right. And if you're still here, you're teachable. Teachable people make me happy because I'm always willing to learn something new. I'm always willing to share something new. You know, with mentees and nieces, nephews, interns, I'm always open to have those real deep dive conversations because I feel like I've lived too long. I've overcome too much to keep it all to myself, you know? So teach me, and then we move into show me. Because it's one thing to be taught, and that's kind of like, if you kind of liken it to going through medical school. You go through medical school for a long period of time, and you learn the ins and outs and the basics of medicine. But then it's time to actually be shown how to utilize these things. Because, I mean, you could look at a book all day long and somebody gives you a scalpel, you might run up out of there. I mean, I would. But you have people, when you go into residency, that show you. They show you how to practically move into those things. I learned that through internships, you know, in my industry. So it was cool. I learned a lot of stuff in school and in undergrad. But when I had practical opportunities to implement those things, that's when I was able to really show you and shine. And it's so cool, though, because if it's like 5 people in an internship program, nobody's going to ever do it the same. You are unique. That's what I want to keep reiterating and harping on. You're unique to the world. You will never, even surgeons, like no 2 surgeons do surgery the same way. You know, you can learn from somebody, but it becomes your own because you could be left-handed, you could be right-handed. So many unique things about us. Some people are inhibited by the fact that they don't have 20/20 vision. Some people are, you know, coming from a place of being so motivated because they didn't have parents. So that's one of the unique things that we're able to sit around amongst each other and in a tribe-like setting and share with one another, and we can grow from one another. So that's what Show Me is all about. And our last section and segment of the show is Bless Me. Because if I am in the place that I've learned how to really love unconditionally, and I want you to Google agape, because that's a special kind of love. Because people think they love somebody, or they're in love, or they're looking for love, and don't even understand what love is. Love is unconditional. Love is something that you almost can't even absorb the capacity of love when it's like an agape love. And that's what I want for everyone. That's what I want for myself. I want that love that kind of shields you from being paranoid, or shields you from thinking that, you can't achieve your goals, or shields you from thinking like, oh, I failed in 2 relationships, I'll probably never find love, whatever. So it's very important once you get into the place of, I've learned how to love, I'm open to love, I'm open to being taught. I want you to show me how I can be my best self. And then it's going to be an outpouring of blessings. It's inevitable. That's just, I don't care what you believe. That's just the way it works. It becomes like a domino effect. So this platform is all about putting people in a position that have something amazing to say, that's life-changing, and will perpetuate love throughout this globe, because Lord knows we need it. So this is my blessing to you, and I want you to stay tuned, because we have a very special show in store for you, and a very special guest. And I would love for you to meet him. Stay tuned. This is the Ask April Love Show, and I've got something to say.
I'm ready to be disruptive. I'm ready to change the world. I'm ready to give the mic to the right people. Why do the craziest people have the biggest platform? Why are people hiding behind social media? Why are so many people talking about Kanye? Don't we have more to do with our lives every day? Let's talk about it. Ask April Love. It's time to ask the hard questions and get some real answers.
What's up, everybody? I'm so excited to have my friend Sam Collier on our show tonight. I don't know how to describe him. I call him the great communicator. He's one of my favorite speakers. He's a minister at North Point under Andy Stanley. He is a husband. He's so many things. He's a recording artist, a writer, producer, and I can't wait to share him with you. He has a great perspective on getting to your greater, on finding your voice. He inspires me every time he opens his mouth. So I know he's going to do a lot for you. And I expect a lot of questions from you guys, because he's like someone you glean off of. He's not very old, but his wisdom surpasses his years. So the next voice you're going to hear is going to be Sam Collier with me right after this break.
The sense of justice and fairness and love, unconditional love, I learned from my parents. My dad taught me about being grateful and about giving back. When you grow up, if you want to, me and my team have a program that help kids understand that their circumstances don't define them. Some of you, you go home and your dad's not there. So many kids in the inner city don't have a father, and so for me, the entire time I'm with them, I'm thinking, this is an opportunity for me to be a compass for them, to help show them the way and provide a strategy that pulls them out of where they are. What does it mean to love others as you would want to be loved? Well, I think it means leveling the playing field. I've got a whole bunch of resources. You don't have any? Here. Here are some resources. I've been given resources to give you resources. I've been blessed to be a blessing. And sometimes I think we forget about that, but that drives me every day to go and help somebody. I remember one time I told my dad, I love you. He said, really? Because you don't act like it. He said, love is not love unless you're actually doing something about it. It doesn't become real until it becomes an action. I believe that I've been given a true chance at life to make a difference. I don't ever want to take this chance for granted. I'm never going to take this chance for granted.
And we're back. Oh my God, I've been giggling the whole time, so I'm going to try to maintain my composure.
Yeah.
Because I'm so excited to have the one, the only Sam Collier on the Ask April Love Show. Hi,
So good to be here.
Oh my God.
This is an honor.
This is an honor for you to make time to be here. You always give me a yes. I'm like, I have favor with you, for real.
Because you're a legend. You're a legend in Atlanta.
Oh.
And in the industry. Come on.
Aw.
You make time for legends. It's like Quincy Jones calling you.
Oh my God. See why he's my friend. So let's seriously get into this thing because I know that you have a wealth of knowledge. Like seriously, like when you like Eve Hutton. You remember back in the day when you were little? when he say something, you listen. Sam does not play games when it comes to really pushing people into purpose and being transparent. And like I've had guests, this platform, let me explain. It's for those that are definitely in passion, in purpose, no longer running from the call. You know, it just they stood still and it overtook them. Gotcha.
Right.
And because there's so many people that are waiting on people to do what they are called to do.
Right.
So I had to, I'm like, I don't even know all the ins and outs of podcasting and vlogging, but I said, you know what? I hear you, God. It's a platform for the people that I know will be positioned and booked to be on here. So people like you. So can you just kind of share your story? I'm blessed every time I hear it and read it in your bio, but kind of share with our audience who Sam Collier is.
Well, I started in ministry maybe about 8 years ago. Before I did that, I was doing music for a long time. And God just kind of shifted me. I always say, what happens if you wake up one day and you realize you're someone you never thought you were? That God kind of repositions you. Your whole life you think you're one thing. And then God comes in and says, I want to take you this way. And so for me, that was from music to ministry, and I just surrendered to it. And I realized I had been fashioned for it the whole time. Got adopted when I was born.
We
me and my
share
twin
that
sister.
story,
I
yeah.
know. You adopted?
Yes.
I did not know that. Well, how old were you? I know it's about me, but how?
No, from day one. I mean, it was within the family and that sort of thing. And it's, I'm going to get into a few podcasts about family secrets and that sort of thing. But from the beginning.
Wow. So that was me and my twin sister, adopted. Something interesting about maybe 5 years ago, we were on the Steve Harvey show.
Okay.
Met our parents for the first time.
What?
Did I tell you
So
that?
you were adopted with your blood sister. So that's awesome. So you did not go through that process by yourself. Y'all were together.
We were together. She was my whole life.
I would
we
love
were
to
like
find
the
a little-
only.
I would love
Was it
to
just
do that
you?
now. No, it was just me. It was just me. But I would love to even adopt twins right now.
You
Put that in the
should.
atmosphere. Anybody got
Put
some
it in the
twins you want to give me? Okay. Right. So it's you and your sister.
Yeah, and we reunited with our biological family after 25 years
What?
on the Steve Harvey show. It was crazy. I'm writing a book about it right now. It's called A Greater Story. When your story connects to God's story, leads to a greater story.
So you met your biological mother and father?
Just my mother and my 3 siblings, which I didn't know I had.
Siblings.
I met
And
my
they're younger?
brother. Older. They
They were older?
We were the youngest.
So she couldn't take you two on. Oh.
Yeah. She was. So she's 21 when she had us. She had 3
And she
kids
already had 3
already.
kids already. Oh.
5 kids, age 21. Welfare. They kind of traced her steps back to like a prostitution house.
Oh.
Dad was addicted to crack, still addicted. He called me the other day.
Your dad?
My dad.
So that's good though, that if it traced like that, you were able to finally. Do you look like one of them?
We all look alike.
What?
It's crazy. It's like never seeing anybody that looks like you, and then you see 5 people that look like. I mean, it was just.
How did
it was wild.
How did your adoptive parents feel about the?
So it was their idea.
What?
I know.
You got something progressive.
Because we, what I say about
parents.
adoption is, for us, if you have great parents that take you in from young, the mom and the dad space they kind of occupy,
Yeah, that's it.
right?
Yeah.
And
Oh, absolutely.
so we never were like, oh, let me go find my. We never had that desire or that not that we did not have the desire, but we never. We were just like, oh, this is what it is. Like, okay, God orchestrated it this way. Our mom couldn't take care of us. But that's all we really knew. We didn't know the
Wow.
full story, but because of a Christian household and all that, we just, And so my dad had to tell us. He was like, it's time. It's time. We're 25. He was like, it's time. We're like, what are you talking about? He said, well, you could grow up one day and marry your cousin and you wouldn't know it. And we're
that's
like,
true.
what?
That's true. That's true.
That was his logic. Like, you
Fall
don't
in
want to
love, you
marry
get a blood test. Like, what? What do you mean
Right,
a
your
match?
kids, right.
Right.
So that's a little bit about my story, April. Now, I mean, we've got a podcast / TV show on YouVersion, on NRB TV, on Direct TV, which is we're in 45 million homes with that.
I heard. Congratulations.
Thank you, April. I'm trying to keep up. I got friends like you.
Oh my
I got.
God.
I got to put
Yeah.
points on the board. And so also at North Point with Andy Stanley and Orange Curriculum Conferences, all that.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
amazing. So we still we have segments. We have our Love Me, we have our Teach Me, we have our Show Me, and we have our Bless Me. But the thing is, in the love me is kind of getting into the passion of it all, kind of like taking the layers of all that stuff you just mentioned. How did you get there? What is your passion? What is it that you know that you are here to do? That's why Sam Collier exists. Your purpose.
You know,
what do you love?
I
what
would
loves you?
say, because it finds
what
you,
loves
right?
You? Yeah, it finds you. Purpose finds you.
I feel like what found me was the passion to help others discover who they are. That is my unique design. I can sit with you and help you identify the unique giftings that God has given you. I did an interview today, and a young lady was asking me, she asked me about purpose, like how do you figure it out? And I was telling her, we make purpose really complicated,
right? But
God has given us clues all around us.
Our whole life.
Our whole life. It's like he's not made it complicated for us. The issue is that the enemy has come in and he's made us believe that what we're actually gifted at, what we're purposed to do, is common, and so we don't see it as a gift.
Right.
And so we don't ever surrender to it or build a strategy around it or a brand around it or a business around it. Or he's convinced us to hate who we are.
Right.
And so a lot of times you'll meet a lot of ministers and pastors and leaders that hated the church for years because maybe they had a bad experience or something. And what that was the enemy trying to get them to not do what they were created to do.
Wow. That happens. I see that a lot. I see people that have been hurt in like entertainment, so they stop singing, or been betrayed by a business partner, so then their business falls to the wayside. So many things. But I mean, that in of itself is, I guess that's the clue. Like that's the area. That's the area that you're being tested in and challenged in. And sometimes those people are being wiped away. Because let's say that you are a pastor, and let's say that you have been operating in a church for 4 or 5 years, and you're not supposed to be there. You're actually supposed to be planning something. Yeah. So I'm gonna disrupt you until you really listen.
And that's what he'll do.
Oh my God.
He'll take you all the way to rock bottom. Right?
Yes. We talk about being the disruptors. God is the ultimate disruptor. It's been shaking up my life forever, talking about do this podcast.
Right.
I don't want to talk in front of people.
He'll reach in
right.
and just like you're gonna surrender at some point.
He would shake you silly. I'm saying,
yes.
like, you don't get out of that city when I tell you to get out of that city. Did your whole basement flood? Your whole basement.
It's true.
And you got people in these wildfires, and we send up prayers for California because they deal with that so much. But you have people that fires burned all around their homes, and some people it didn't touch theirs. You know what I'm saying? So it's just everything is so orchestrated.
Yeah.
I'm watching this TV show. It's called Manifest, about this plane that disappeared. I explore these different television shows, being in television and stuff, and looking for stuff to new content. And it's something that resonated when they say it's all connected. It's all connected. It's all connected that Richard Dunn kept telling me about you. I was like, who is this Sam? Because he was, boy,
I love
who
Richard.
is this? Who is this Sam Collier? Because you got me thinking that I need to stop everything and go see something, listen to them. I heard your music first, but it's all connected because it was very purpose. And even, I don't think we've even seen the fullness of what we're going to do together.
Right, no, of course. This is the beginning.
That's why I keep calling. He'll be back. He'll be back next month.
That's why I keep saying, baby, what you doing? I'm just going to see April, man.
Right.
I don't know what we're doing.
Very few details.
Right.
Like, did you get confirmation? Probably not. But just come over here. But because when you surrender, though, that's how life starts to ebb and flow for you. And you're like, oh, I'm really connected to this person. And then a year later, it all makes sense.
And sometimes it's surrendering to the divine relationships, right? Yeah. And that's what it's been for me and you. It's like it's just, you just know that God connected us. He connects you to folks, and it's like, well, let me just keep showing up, spending time, and as you do it, the purpose will emerge.
Absolutely.
Right? Yes, so that's what I feel like I've been created to do, to help people surrender to who they are.
So, okay. Let's just say, for instance, because I want you guys to drop questions, because Sam will be on with us, and we'll be, when this airs in the comments, we'll be actually taking live questions. So drop them in there, because, you have like a quick session with him, and so make the most of it. What would you tell someone who is in that place of uncertainty, and they're coming to you, and they're like, well, I know that I'm not doing what it's a purpose to do, but I don't really know how to hear. I don't really know how to get to my next step. And some people stay in that for decades,
Great question. It's
lifetime.
True. It's true. It's one of the areas. If I were to, can I get religious on you? Can we go that direct?
You can be you.
Okay.
We are unapologetic, uncensored, unfiltered.
Okay.
So I'm definitely not about to censor you. Okay.
Well, to the folks that are Christians, I'll talk to you. To the folks that aren't, I'll talk to you as well, because I think there's a central thread. What I would say to you is this, if I go to Christian perspective first, the Bible talks about each one of us being given a gift. Mm-hmm. And it says that for every gift that God has given us, there is a measure of grace attached to it. And so we understand that grace is translated in the scriptures as unmerited favor.
Right.
It's just favor. It's just, Oprah will call it, you get into the water and stuff just starts flowing.
Yeah.
And so that's grace. That's supernatural activity. It's just grace. God's grace moving. And so what we understand is that for each gift you have, there's a grace attached to it. There's power on it. And then it's been given to you to help make the church better, to make other people better. And so what do we understand about that? What we understand is God's given us gifts to make the world better. So how better to discover who we are than to ask the world what is making it better from you? And so that's the trick.
Rewind.
Okay.
you got me looking at this footage.
Let me dumb it down. The trick is we keep trying to tell the world what we think is great about us instead of asking the world what's great about us. And that's what we really find. That's how you find it. We go, April, what do you think is special about me? Sam, well, I think you did. It's like, oh, I didn't know. You need people to come into your life. That's why some of the most powerful sessions you've ever had in your life has been people coming up to you going, when are you gonna do a podcast?
Oh
right?
my God. You came to me and you were booked to do something else. I'm like, what is this man over here doing? And then like, sit down for a minute. And we're like, and I'm like, this is really our first connection.
It was our first
and you
one.
went there immediately.
I just felt it.
And I was like,
hey, do you see this about? I had at least 3 me's in my life and I can remember them sitting me down and going, hey, and let me pause. It was in a moment where I was open to it.
Yes.
Because that's the issue. You gotta be open.
You gotta be open.
If you just on your, I'm doing this, no, but get with somebody that you will actually open your heart to.
Your heart.
Trust and let them tell you what's good about you.
Embrace it. Why is it so hard for us to embrace when people are pouring into us and telling us all the greatness they see on us? They go like, oh, they start getting shy and they start being apprehensive about, well, who are you talking about? Me looking at that show. I'm talking about you. I'm talking about you.
You ever been talking to somebody and as you're kind of pouring into them, they kind of try to redirect it to you? It's like, no, this is your moment.
Right.
Stay in it. Take this.
We're obviously in the teach me.
Sorry, I moved on.
Now.
Sorry.
Yes, we know what he loves, and we know we all love him. So now we're in Teach Me because he's teaching. So pay attention, take notes, okay? No excuses. You have about 6 weeks left in this year?
Wow.
Come on. Don't go into 2019 with 2018 confusion. Get clarity right now. You have your opportunity. So, what in the world? I don't know. I'm just over here thinking.
Here's the problem.
Oh my gosh.
Most of society and culture in the spirit realm and in their life are that American Idol singer that everybody's looking at on TV going, you shouldn't be singing.
Everybody.
That's most of culture. Because you're in your thing.
Oh, but it took a minute because I was quick to find, somebody could find 75 things to celebrate about me, and I would find the 5 flaws. But what about, girl, you can't get that hair together, girl.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm over here telling you about your life and destiny, and I'm like, I know he's looking at my hair. What? Yeah, go ahead.
Exactly.
So go into that. Like, why are we just programmed to, I'm not ready, I'm not, why are people drawn to me? I don't see it kind of thing.
So
mentality.
Some of the trick is, again, I'm gonna get a little bit deeper. The American dream has hurt a lot of us. We've grown up in America believing you can do whatever you want to do, and you can, but what that's caused us to do is go against what God has designed. And what God has designed is for community to come around us and speak life into us.
Right.
And so we get into this pride thing where it's like, man, no, this is what I want to do. This is what I can do whatever I want. And so when somebody tries to come and talk to us about, hey, you're on American Idol, you actually don't have a great voice.
This is not your area of
calling.
Right,
this is not your area, but you got 8 of this, 8 things over here that you should be doing.
Right.
We just be like, nah, whatever, you hating.
Yeah.
You hating on me.
And then you spend
right.
you spend 15 more years trying to beat it. And then you're the 35-year-old rapper, and now you bitter and you jaded because you didn't listen to people.
You didn't listen.
And it was just because people wouldn't put you on. No, you weren't. It just was not what you should be doing. It's just not what you should be doing.
People didn't put you on.
People didn't put you on.
And then on the other side.
They would have put you on and got
fired. Right.
You signed him, you and him out the building.
Yes.
Yeah, no.
So what am I saying? I'm saying when people tell you that love you, what you're great at, surrender to it. Stop doing what you think you're good at and start doing what you're great at.
Awesome.
And then on the flip side, back to why do we always find the negatives? I got to talk about minorities for a second.
Go ahead. Deep dive. We going there.
So I had a moment where, Capriccio Scats.
Yeah.
He took
Shout out, Cap.
right, shout out to Cap. He took like 10 artists from Atlanta, R&B, hip hop, recording artists, and he did this program called Switch. He took us to Nashville, and we started writing with these country writers that have been signing like Universal for like 20 years. They would write with all type number
That's
ones.
brilliant. Switch.
And so one day, one of them brought me back up. Guy who's been in the business. Number 1 plaques all around his house. White guy. He's married to this woman. I'm going somewhere with this. He's married to a white woman whose father is the vice president of the Orlando Magic. And so I had never been around a lot of white people like that ever in my life. And so I'm just fascinated. And so she takes me into this room. And she starts telling about her dad. Her dad's written like 50 books. And so she gives me the one book her and her dad wrote, and it was called The Takeaway. And it was lessons that every father should pass down to their daughter. So I'm just like, I want to see what white people are telling their kids. You know what I'm saying?
Seriously,
I'm just in that
glean.
So I read, it took me maybe 2 weeks to read this. And there was one chapter, oh my gosh, that changed my life.
What?
And it caused me to understand the difference between our cultures and why we have such a hard time believing the best about ourselves and being confident in who we are. And the chapter was called Be Good to People. No, it was Wear Your Seatbelt, Be Good to People, Enjoy Your Life. That was the chapter. Wear your seatbelt.
Wear your seatbelt.
Be good to people.
Be good to people.
Enjoy your life.
Enjoy your life.
He's got 17 kids he's adopted into their family. And every time they left the house, and even leave now, he tell them 3 things. Wear your seatbelt, be good to people, enjoy your life. So I was like, man, that's amazing. What did my parents tell me when I left the house?
What did they tell you?
Be safe. Don't do anything crazy, right? Think about what your mama told.
Yeah.
But it was this, they put in us this mentality, which we understand is rooted in history and rooted in our people being torn down, all these other things. But they put this victim mentality in us.
Oh my God.
And they put this thing in us that makes us approach the world like, I gotta protect myself.
Yeah.
So what happens
I'm always
when,
on guard.
Always
I'm
on guard?
always like, I'm always paranoid. I'm always thinking you hating. Or, yeah, okay.
And then it's hard for us to and then what it subconsciously does to us is, maybe I'm not good enough, right? And that thing. So what happens when you try to start a business? You go, I don't know if I can really make it.
Right. Or my thing was I had to go find a partner. I wasn't doing nothing. So they be like, no, you, and then I get in there still doing all the talking and doing the working. But then I'll be like, you want to talk to my partner? What? Somebody had to identify that I was doing that. Like, why do you keep doing that?
It's that low self-esteem.
Yeah, it's totally that.
And we all have it. As people of color, we have that, especially when we wake up in the world and we feel like people are against us, cops, whatever.
Oh, and it's a double. It's
right?
a double, to be honest, it's a double for women.
Please. Wow.
The color and the woman. That is, I don't care what they say, the double minority, whatever. It is something that you learn early on, that you are definitely going to stand behind the boy. You're definitely going to, you know what I'm saying, like coming into meetings, like I was doing deals early on in the business, production deals, but it was always something that would keep me from just going there. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I gotta go in the meeting with someone. Or, I'm like, oh, they're gonna think I'm the assistant and I'm coming here and I'm repping, you know what I'm saying? But it was always something subliminal. And it wasn't something that I was able to identify because it was a part of my DNA. I had embraced it to the point where I was like, that's just what it is. That's what women do. And then but everything in me said, no, you go do it. This is what you're supposed to have. This is what's supposed to be happening. So it was kind of like a war going on with it, So if somehow, okay, we didn't teach me,
Yeah.
and there are a lot of people in the position now that are on the cusp of their greatness, and they're being, I'm talking about chased down by purpose, but are still apprehensive about accepting that place. Like I'm not there no more. I'm Oprah in the water.
Right.
Child. I know.
I'm Oprah in the water.
Baby, I have been completely delivered from that mindset. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
if I'm saying I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
trust that God brings the right people around me. I don't have this paranoid feeling like, oh, let me watch my back kind of thing, because I feel like I'm protected from that anyway. So for those who were me a few years ago, or most people, like you said, in our culture, and it's a very cultural thing to be apprehensive about trusting people. And I don't really have that many girlfriends. I don't really trust black folks. I don't want to do. Are you kidding me?
Right.
So, but that becomes a part of your psyche. So you're reversing it on yourself. You're becoming not the trustworthy, not the reliable, not the stepping out on faith, not the making it happen. How do we stop this now? At least work towards stopping this. Shift the mindset.
Yes. I feel like it's two statements. I mean, as you were
Okay.
talking, I was getting two things. The first one was our desire to be great has to trump our desire to lean into our insecurities.
Lean into it.
Like
Okay.
most times, we let the insecure and we let the low self-esteem, we let that override our desire to be great. Because you got to get to a point to where you get tired of losing, and you go, no, I'm gonna come up and I'm gonna push this down. Kenny Leon, you know Kenny Leon?
Yeah.
He said something to us one day when I was back doing theater. He said, "Your
Back doing
belief."
theater.
I was just long time, Lord. He said, "Your belief in yourself must be so strong that it trumps everyone else's collective disbelief." What a statement.
What a mighty statement.
He was like, for everybody that you feel like is hating on you around the world, and that
Around
doesn't
the
believe,
world.
right?
They hating on you.
and
all
that
of
doesn't
them.
and that doesn't believe in you. Your
won't
belief
support you.
has to come above all of that.
Yeah.
It has to come above. For me, it really had to go as granular as I had to have mentors come and literally tell me every day I was great. For 2 years, this went on. You're great. They would throw chairs when I would not. They're like, "What are you doing?" They would throw a chair across the room. They're like, "You were great. Say it with me. You're great. Say it with me. For 2 years.
Say it with him. You are great.
You're great." Right?
I'm so
It's so
serious.
hard for us to say that.
Yeah, and
I am
believe
great.
it. I am great. Sam Collier, I am great.
You are.
I mean,
You are.
I mean, people have misconstrued humility. Throw the whole humility away. I am great. I am great.
I'm great.
I am humbly great, but I am great
Yes.
because I know that I'm good at what I do. Don't you know that you're good at what you do?
Yes. And we're made in the image of God.
Therefore,
Come on. If
How
God
much
is great,
yeah, then we are great. We are great. Now, coming back to the fact of having people, honest people in your life will keep you off of, a stage when you're not a singer and you can't act, and you're the comedians that are not funny.
Right.
So you got to have a level of truth and accountability in your life. And I've had that. Like I had words coming at me for like almost 5 years straight when I was like transitioning. And I would say in a low place because I was okay with where, just accepting whatever. But I had so many people like this Mother Barrett of mine. I love her. One of the mothers in my church, but also a prolific voice in the world, period. She has so much more to do, but she would stay on me. No, you're something in God. No, you're amazing. No, you need to go do this. And I'm just like, and everything, and just holding me accountable. Well, you said you was going to start this prayer line. Well, you said you was, I'm like, okay. All right, I'm going to do it. And just having friends and people in your corner, because like you said, it's not something that you're going to actually do alone. I don't know if you're going to necessarily push yourself into your next
I agree.
yourself.
I agree.
Especially, like I said, and like you said, coming from the way we were brought up. Like mediocrity is okay. Like you get you a good job, make sure you pay your bills on time.
That's right.
The people ain't gonna let you. Almost like the people not gonna let you get any further than you're supposed to get anyway.
Right.
So
it's this victim thing.
Yeah.
I got to give you a story. Can I give you another one?
Absolutely. What? Of course you can.
This one
Of
is
course.
huge. Do you know? I don't know if you know Tony Douglas and Harry. You remember Harry Douglas that used to play for the Falcons? I don't know. Him and his brother both went to the NFL, NBA, both of them. And I knew them when they were 7 and 8, and we grew up together.
Oh, really?
They played AAU. They were older. Their dad was their coach. And I just remember him telling them and telling all of us they going pro, they going pro, they going pro.
Oh my God.
And we was like, all right. And then they started getting older. Next thing you know, they got scholarship to college. And he's like, they going pro, they going pro. Then next thing you know, they went pro. Both of them. It was like in 2 years. I was just like, what? And I asked him after they got the millions, I said, how did you do it? He said, I just believed in them until they believed in them.
What?
Ooh.
That's a father.
He said, I just believed in them until they believed in them. He said, I just feel like we need people around us that believe in us until we believe in us. That's what you're saying. That's mother, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
She believed in you until you started believing.
Until I started to actually do what I knew within me I was going to do. I went to my mom when I was she wouldn't let me forget it either. When I was in the 2nd grade. And then I told my mom, I was like, from the 2nd grade until like probably the 8th grade, I told my mom, I'm gonna be on TV. I just kept saying, I would watch Soul Train, I would watch the Grammys. I was like, I'm gonna be on TV. I didn't know what that meant. I was like, I'm gonna be on TV. I'm gonna be on TV. And then my mom was like, I know. She was always, it was never like, what? It was never. She believed it. She believed it. Yep, you're gonna be on TV. Yep, not to say it was gonna be an actor. I wasn't even clear about what it was, but I was just like, I believed it.
Yeah. That's
what we have to get back to, the innocence of our youth too. You know what I'm saying? You just, you believe crazy stuff when you're a kid. You're like, I'm going on the train. I'm going to do whatever I'm going to do. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you see your little, you believe in the cartoons, you believe in Santa Claus, whatever you believe, but it's an innocence. And it takes you to a place where you have incredible faith.
Come on.
And I'm like, hey, I'm going to be on TV. Now, when I got to the point where I know, you go to college and you become, it starts to dispel a little bit. But I went back to that. I'm going to be on TV. I'm going to be on TV. I'm going to be on TV my way. And then in the 7th grade, I started telling her I was going to be a millionaire.
Let me hold something.
No, that hasn't manifested yet. But you here, bear
I feel
witness.
Like you close to it. Come on.
I received it.
Come on, we know you got bread, hey, bro.
Come on
we
here.
know you got the
Come
check.
on here.
Right.
Come on. It's coming. It's raining. It's coming. I believe it.
It's raining.
It's coming. But it's a belief. It's a faith that. What is it? That unspeakable faith. That faith that people can't. It's indescribable faith.
Yes.
Can that be taught?
It's I think it's more caught than taught. I think you get around folks and you learn it. But I also think, you sit in that pew long enough under the right person, and the Holy Spirit will start to breathe some things into you.
Absolutely. Having the right teachers and mentors and pastors. I'm so happy that I'm in a space that I love. I immerse myself in the YouTube and I love, like sometimes we have like 3 worship experiences. Sometimes I'm sitting all 3. Because I got somewhere to go and I need to hear.
You know, I'll be back for the
I'll
next.
be back. I'll be
going
back.
to the restroom.
I'm going to the restroom and get me a little snack and I'll be right back because I'm sure there's a word for me.
Again.
But again. Right. But
I'm going to hear something new.
But I'll hear something new and having a conversation with somebody like you because I know that you're open and I know you're here. So, and I think those are the little steps that some people kind of like omit, It's kind of like, they get caught up in this one way for me to learn something. Whether it be books and they continue to, do continuing education. But this platform is about mind, body, and spirit. So you could have all the PhDs in the world, but if that spirit is still like, you could still be in the wrong relationship in the wrong city, and that PhD is not going to do very much for you in a holistic perspective because you're not being obedient on all parts of who you are. We are to be whole. We're to be whole. And it's like, okay, so now I got that part right, but then I'm over here like I'm not being obedient when it comes to my body. So you're like, oh, I just, I gotta get my blood pressure.
All right.
I gotta get, that's another thing that's a flip side of that belief, what you were saying, like until they believed it. I had a first cousin, a close cousin of mine. We grew up together like siblings, and I know she dealt with an undiagnosed mental illness, but she was so dead set on being the victim. Like everything was somebody else's fault. Be it her mom, her dad, whoever. And then she got to the point as we grew up, she started saying, I'm gonna have a stroke. Everything was, I'm gonna stroke out. I'm gonna have a stroke. I'm gonna have a stroke. Like this is gonna, like y'all gonna make me have a stroke. Like just kept saying it. Just like the the boy's dad kept saying that they were going to go to the NBA, they're going to go to the NFL. It's a belief. She believed it. She believed she's going to have a stroke. Please understand that she died of a stroke. Not even at 40 years old. She died of a stroke, and it's just that. The power of life and death is in your tongue. So if somebody's there and they're telling you and they see this, they knew you want to do this podcast, people like Richard Dunn edifying you, and then when you get to the point that you believe it, you have no choice. It's coming. No choice.
It's coming.
No choice. Dang. Man, this is
April Love.
Sam Collier. This is so good. So we're going to take a break. We're going to come back and we're going to get to the show me section because I know that you've heard all the teaching. You've heard his story. I continue to share mine, but we're going to give you a couple nuggets on how you can do this, practical steps to show us how you're going to close out this year. We'll be right back. This is the Ask April Love Show, and I've got something to say.
I'm ready to be disruptive. I'm ready to change the world. I'm ready to give the mic to the right people. I mean, why do the craziest people have the biggest platform? Why are people hiding behind social media? Why are so many people talking about Kanye? Don't we have more to do with our lives every day? Let's talk about it. Ask April Love. It's time to ask the hard questions and get some real answers.
So we're back, and we're having a great time. As usual, you don't invite Sam Collier on and not get your whole life together and laugh the whole time. So now, Sam, it's in your hands because I trust you to share with my audience here. Show them how to get there. We got 6 weeks, guys, and I'm holding you accountable to close this year out with a bang. Whatever those lingering goals are, it's an amazing guru out there. Her name is Yaya. Taylor on my team is her big sister. And I've been watching her for the past couple of weeks. And it's like she doesn't have limitations when it comes to dates. Like she has that faith we talked about where you believe it's going to manifest itself. It's not like, I got to wait till next December. No, if I want to close 2018 with a certain financial goal, with a certain physical goal that was, within reason, it's attainable. Yeah. And I want us to start thinking like that. I want us to really get that. That's success. That's really building yourself up as a personal brand success, a case study that your family, your children, your spouse can emulate. You got the goods. So show us how to embrace this greatness and how to, kind of set ourselves up to really attain these goals we set for ourselves.
I put a book out back in April.
High profile.
April.
That might be the best month to put anything
right.
out.
I didn't realize
Favor
that.
and grace on April.
And it is called Find Your Voice, Capturing the Power of Influence to Live a Greater Story. And the whole idea is, how do you find your voice? How do you discover your purpose? How do you launch into that? And the premise around it is the best way to find your voice is to construct the atmosphere around you in which your voice can be found. And that's what we've been talking about all day. We broke it down into 3 areas: your friends, your leaders, and then your followers, being in a social media age.
Okay.
And so what do we want to say about friends? A mentor told me once, show me your friends, I'll show you your destiny.
Okay.
He said, if you hang around successful people, you'll accidentally become successful. What am I saying? Most of your friends suck. Let's be honest.
They do. A lot of them do.
Those of you that are out there going, man, how can I get to the next level? I want you to look at your friend circle, and I guarantee that where you are is probably a direct reflection of the people that you're surrounding yourselves with. So anytime true. I want to go to another level, I get a new friend. Because success is about access, it's about circles, it's about knowledge, it's about belief. We talk about people speaking into you, believing in you until you believe in yourself. That's all of your friend groups. And now let me add a little bit of a caveat there when I say that. When we say hang around successful people, we don't mean 10% of the time, because that's where the trick is. Okay. It's like, well, no, I've been hanging around successful. Well, no, you hung out with April one time 2 months ago. You know what I'm saying? Right. No, you've got to spend 80% of your time hanging around the right people. So what does that mean? Those relationships in your life, I'm not telling you to just throw people away. But I'm saying you want to limit the amount of time.
Throw some of them away.
Right, some of them do need to be.
Throw the whole friend away.
The whole
The whole friend, the whole cousin, the whole auntie. If you got these naysayers and these, throw them away.
It's true, because you will be the sum total of the friends you hang out with.
80% of the time, guys. 80%.
That's huge.
That is huge.
Let's talk about leaders for a second.
Okay, please, let's get into that.
Most of us are following people that have never been where we want to go. Took me a long time to figure that out. We took 30 young adults on a 3-year journey, some with master's degrees, doctorates, bachelors, some with no degrees at all, and they wanted to become successful. But we did the business plans, we wrote it all down, we watched different things, we taught them principles, but we realized they kept hitting the block. And the block was they didn't have anybody in their life that had been where they were trying to go.
Wow.
They had mentors, but nobody that could say, hey, go here.
Yeah, how do you think you can achieve anything if you've never seen anybody do it in your life?
Never seen anybody
like
do
it seems like me watching the TV. Like, how you gonna get on TV?
Right.
I mean, I'm saying it, but really, how you gonna?
We all need a mentor.
Yeah.
What's great about mentors? Great leaders have great foresight.
Yes.
And so, what does that mean? That means that they can see where you're going because they've been there. They can go, turn left, turn right, go back, come this way. Some of us won't submit ourselves to mentors because we've been hurt, because we're afraid, because of what you said before, whatever. But I want to say this, some of you are one mentor away from your destiny.
Ooh.
One mentor away. All right, let's talk followers.
Yes, mentors. Call me back, Oprah. I need to ask you a couple questions. Call me back. Call me back, girl.
Let's talk followers for a second. We're living in an age where there are more leaders than there have ever been, because how do you know you're leading? You turn around and you see if somebody's following you. You're a leader.
Boom.
Social media gives us access into people's lives. You get followers they just want to follow you.
Right.
And there are people watching you. So what does that mean? That means you're a leader. How are you stewarding that influence? But here's the big thing about followers. You want to know who you are, and it's back to what we said earlier. Ask the people that value you to tell you what's valuable about you. And you can really only figure that out.
That's good.
Obviously mentors, but you get even more from people that are following you. Whether we believe it or not, there's somebody watching all of us.
All of us.
Right?
All of us. There's somebody.
And they're going, I want to be like her. I want to be like April. You got like at least 1,000. At least 2,000 people. Not on Facebook. I mean, in life, just watching you going. It was funny because walking in, you've got some interns outside and some different folks. And, you know, I asked one of your interns, I said, how did you and April connect? She said, I've been hearing about April. And I started researching PR companies, and as soon as I got the opportunity, I had to jump on it because she's hands on it. People are following you.
Oh, wow.
Here's a trick. You want to go back to them and go, why are you following me?
Come on here. Note to self.
That's all of us. There are people that want to be you and be like you.
Yes.
Find out who they are and ask them that question. Why are you following me?
That's some good intel.
It'll make you cry.
That's really, oh yeah, they'll make me cry. Yes.
It'll make you cry. I had a guy that told me, I never knew who he was, some random city in South Carolina. He found me at a conference. He was like, man, I watch everything you do. And then he started telling me what I did. I was just like, I started crying. He was like, man, you've got a way of saying this, and when you do this, and I noticed you do this, and you do that. I was like, man, how are you? I said, man, tell me what it is. And he started speaking life into me. And here's the trick. I started grabbing the principles that he was telling me about me, and I started amplifying them in my life.
Amplify. You gotta amplify.
Because that's what's great about us. We want to amplify the great things.
Yeah, you may think I should be amplifying this, and you should be amplifying that. Can I share something?
Please, I'm done.
You're not done.
I am.
I don't even know what done looks like. But look, let me tell you something. So I have to edify you. I have to say why I keep calling.
Air.
I'm gonna I have had the opportunity to meet a lot of amazing orators. Eric Thomas. I've met Lisa Nichols. I've met some amazing people. E.T. Shout out to E.T. and CJ. You have to be one of my favorite speakers ever. Ever.
Don't do it.
I'm so serious. I mean, I'm talking about, I'm in awe. And in the way you minister, the way that's why I said I am. Some people like, I don't know if they hear from God. I know you hear from God. Like I know. I mean, the inflection in your voice. I'm like, some things are learned, but I think that it's so amazing that I know that you're doing exactly what you were birthed to do. You are so good. He is so good, guys. Like he's like this
She's
guy.
doing it to me now.
Like I'm serious. Like you'll see him on stage and like, what else is he gonna say? What else is he gonna say? You like Sam talk. Like Ted talk. You Sam talk. You Sam talk. No, you're really good.
Hey, but don't make
Embrace
me cry.
it.
Okay, I receive.
Embrace it. He's the case study. Embrace it. It's amazing. And I think about how freeing that is to know that you get up every day and do exactly what makes God happy. You're doing exactly what you're here to do.
Yep.
I'm back. I'm good.
Okay.
Don't do it to me. Why is she doing this?
Oh my God.
I told you not to, you did.
I have to be obedient. I have to. So yeah, I mean, this has been amazing. It's been amazing. I love you.
Love.
We went back to love me.
April, love. She's love. You love.
And I love the people. So now we're gonna close this out with you blessing the people. Tell us how we can keep up with you, how we can get that amazing book, how they can tune into everything that you have going on, and your last remarks.
Woo! I'm good. Go to samcollier.tv. So www.samcollier.tv. COLLIER. The book is on there. Hit me on Instagram, Sam Collier, and you can find everything.
And just like that, it is a wrap. We will be back to close it out. And this will be an amazing, repost, and tell everybody about Sam Collier. Amazing. We'll be back.
I love you, April.
Love you more.